Hello, lovely people, and welcome back to Accidental Adult. It is fantastic to see you here again, and today we are going to make atayef. Atayefs are basically Middle Eastern pancakes. They're very light, fluffy, and super versatile. You can make them in different sizes, bake them, fry them, and stuff them with any filling you like. The most popular fillings, in Beirut at least, are Ashta, my favorite, nuts and white cheese, and they're all drenched in ater, and that's what makes them absolutely delicious. Today we're going to make all three, so let's get started. The first step in the recipe is preparing the ater. The atayefs that we're going to make today are all served or soaked in ater, so before making them, you need to have your ater prepared and chilled. To make ater, check out the link in the description below. To make the atayef batter, start by adding 1 cup of all-purpose flour, a 1/4 cup of fine semolina, half a teaspoon of instant yeast and baking powder each, and 1 tablespoon of sugar to a bowl, and whisk them into a homogeneous beige mix. Next, pour 1.5 cups of warm water, that's around 40 degrees Celsius or 105 Fahrenheit, to the dry ingredients and whisk them all together. You can also check the temperature by putting your finger in the water. If you can handle the heat for 10 seconds, then it's fine to use. If the water is too hot to touch, cool it down and then pour it. Cover with plastic wrap and let it sit for 30 minutes at room temp.
في cling film بالعالم that doesn't cling.
You can also use a damp kitchen towel if your cling film isn't clinging.
اكتشفت شي هلا لساني انه اذا بتحط مي على القفا بتلزق.
30 minutes later, whisk the proofed batter until it deflates and becomes smooth and runny. Moving over to the stovetop, we're going to very lightly grease a non-stick pan with vegetable oil. And by very lightly, I mean it should barely be there. Heat up the pan, and when it's hot, we're going to cook the atayef on medium-low heat, starting with the regular-sized atayefs, which are around a 1/4 cup of batter. Just like regular pancakes, the first piece is usually sacrificial. Pretty quickly, you should see small bubbles spreading on the surface of the atayef. If the bubbles are few and large, like we have here, it means the batter is too thick and we need to add more water. We're going to do so a 1/4 cup at a time and try again. As you can, ouch, that's hot. Whew. As you can see, the surface is filled with tiny bubbles. That's how you'll know the batter has the right consistency. Unlike pancakes, we cook atayefs on one side only. The cooking time depends on the size of the atayef, so a good way to know when they're done is by watching the surface. When it's no longer shiny, it's done. Also, the bottom should have a nice golden brown color. It's very important to keep the atayefs covered either with plastic wrap or a clean kitchen towel to keep them soft and prevent them from drying out. The small-sized atayefs are 2 tablespoons of batter, and the bite-sized atayefs are 1 tablespoon of batter. When you get the hang of it, you can cook them 2 or 3 at a time depending on the size of your pan. Moving on to the fillings, we're going to start with the Ashta atayef. For this atayef, you need to have, well, Ashta. If you can't find Ashta, you can make your own and it'll taste 10 times better than store-bought. I will leave a link in the description below if you'd like to make it yourself. Next, we're going to grab a bite-sized atayef and pinch the sides together almost 2/3 of the way to form a small cone. Stuff it with Ashta, sprinkle or dip it in finely chopped pistachios, drizzle with ater, and enjoy. can we just take a minute to marvel at this Atayef's beauty?
That's some good stuff.
Wow. So don't hide.
If you're making these atayefs for a crowd, it's easier to pipe them. To do this, fill a piping bag with Ashta, then same as before, pinch the sides together almost 2/3 of the way to form a small cone, pipe in the Ashta and set aside. It's as easy as that.
Brown sugar bakery practice.
Usually we serve the finely chopped pistachios and ater on the side because these depend on each person's liking. Also, it's best to make these atayefs directly before serving to keep them fresh.
Oh my god. I'm honestly not surprised that it's delicious because each individual component is delicious on its own. So put together, they're just...
Next up, we have our vegan atayefs for our vegan friends, the nuts atayef. For this one, you can use any nut or mix of nuts that you like. Today I'm going to use walnuts. In a bowl, combine 150 grams of roughly chopped walnuts, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and 2 teaspoons of flavoring. You can go for cinnamon, but my husband doesn't like it, so I'm going to use mazahir, and mix all together. Grab the small-sized atayef and fill it with the nut mix. Don't add too much or else it wouldn't seal properly, then pinch the sides together all the way to form a semi-moon.
It's so smooth.
At this point, you can either freeze them for up to a month or fry them right away. You can also bake them if you prefer. Over on the stovetop, fill a pot with just enough vegetable oil to shallow fry the atayef. When the oil is hot enough, fry them until they turn golden brown. When they're done, drain off any excess oil, then dip them in ater. But just for a few seconds so that they don't become soggy. Garnish with some finely chopped pistachios and enjoy. Look at that. Wow.
Don't breathe.
Oh, you finished?
It's super crunchy. Right?
Good stuff.
It's crunchy on the outside.
And on the inside.
Yeah, the filling is crunchy, but it's also fluffy inside.
Okay, I want the cheese now.
Okay.
Finally, the cheese atayef.
For this one, you're gonna need a white melty cheese. In Beirut, we use Akkawi cheese, and you can probably find it in Middle Eastern supermarkets. If you can't, you can substitute it with mozzarella.
Akkawi is usually salty, so make sure to taste the cheese before using it. If it's too salty, soak it in water to desalinate it, but not too much because you don't want it to become bland and tasteless. So, same as before, we're going to grab the regular sized atayef and put a few cubes of cheese in the center and seal it. If it doesn't seal properly, it means you overstuffed it, so remove a few cubes and try again. At this point, you can either freeze them for up to a month or bake them right away. You can also fry them if you prefer. Brush the atayefs with melted butter or vegetable oil, then place it in a baking pan that's been preheating with your oven at 200 degrees Celsius or 392 Fahrenheit for 10 to 15 minutes or until the atayefs turn golden brown. Carefully, carefully. One quick outfit change later and they are ready.
لا It might be ugly on the outside, but it's beautiful. Look at this cheese. That's some melty cheese. اوكي حنرجع نعمل وحدة تانية. Delicious.
Alright, second round was a success. Finally, we're going to garnish with some finely chopped pistachios, drizzle some ater, and enjoy.
Crunchy. Good stuff, good stuff. And that is all I have for you today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit that like button if you did. Subscribe if you aren't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. لازم تكون أسخة.
And it should feel warm.
إيه.
You know what warmth feels like?
بدك تكون بالفيديو؟
تاكل.
اوكي مام. جبني هيني لاني اوريدي صور. You can have it. I'm giving it to you.
I don't like chocolate atayef.
بس انت ما ضايقها بعد ما تقطع لا تعرف اذا you like it or not. ليك هيك هي.
It's not the point. You have atayef with ashta.
هلا دوقها بعدين حارجري. كثير طيب. انه اسمك كلينج فيلم بس it doesn't cling.